Hey, if you got
Hey,
kids and they don't like bad words, get to go away. This is not for you. Why are you here? But also, why do you care? It's bad. Swear words are fine. Kids know them all. It's ridiculous. Ah, this is Reef Beef. Today on Reef Beef, we're gonna talk about the ethics, stupid ethics people, Ben and his GFO, and Coralline in a bottle, and why Ben and Rich were griping at each other about it online. Today on Reef Beef with me, Rich, and
me, Ben.
Ben. So cool, Ben. Ben, how are you this week?
I'm pretty good. I can say that.
Hey, you know what I want to start with?
What do you want to start with?
Is there anything else? Do you want to talk about your personal life at all? No? Yes? No?
Not at all.
Okay, great. I want to show you something that I've been promising you for a while.
Picture of the anemone. You have star. Oh, dude, that is very green.
Watch this.
Oh, it's feathery too.
Yeah, and look at the bottom. Can you see the very bottom here?
Oh, it can get hosted in?
Those little balls. Oh, yeah. So it's right next to the Magnifica. They just rub on each other, and the clowns go back and forth and back and forth.
Whoa.
And it's pretty cool. And it moved, so I was able to get this footage. You see those balls on the edge of it?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
That's a really cool anemone, but you say it stings like a son of a gun?
Yeah, I wouldn't lick it.
Not with my tongue.
Not if you like your kidneys. I think it's your kidneys. But anyway, I promised to show that to you, and I finally have come through. Mwah.
Yay! I will stop telling everyone you're a liar.
I got those good pictures, Ben, because the lab has gone crazy this week.
Really?
Again, as we're getting ready for spawning. Now this upper tank here, everything in this lower tank has got to move to this upper tank.
Okay.
So that upper tank was a consult tank, and that's all moved to under the house now. And tomorrow I'll be moving all this stuff up there. And you can see that thing floating in there?
Yeah, like a specimen container?
Yeah, it's not, but it kind of is. But in the Discord, it's a thing floating in the tank. In the Discord, I saw some pictures of Cephalopod Damacornis larva. And I got some new things coming with the microscope, so I'll do some more of that. And we're getting ready for the spawn. It's totally scary.
That was crazy, the pictures you took under the microscope of the P dam, because you could see the individual zooxanth. Am I saying that right? Zooxanthellae.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So
symbiotic dinoflagellates.
That's the difference. Wow, you said lots of words correctly. That's fucking brilliant, man.
I know.
The P dam pushes out larvae ready to settle, already with zoox in them. The Millipora, behind the black curtain, put out sperm egg bundles that then need to be fertilized and go through an embryonic stage. And then they don't pick up zoox until after they've settled. So it's a whole different gig.
Now they ought to talk to PDAM, because PDAM knows how to be successful.
PDAM is the pioneer coral. They just spit out babies. They're like the fucking Ben Johnson family of corals.
Just like popping them out like we live in Utah.
Just babies, or Texas. Just. So is there anything else going on in the lab that anyone cares about? I don't think so. Ben, tell us about your GFO extravaganza.
So let's see, what was it? It was maybe about a month ago now.
That's important details.
Well, no, it was a while back ago, and I think I was sort of in a rush because I was about to get out of here to go to. It might have been Aquashella.
Yeah, it was.
My head was up in the clouds, and so this one client has it's a Red Sea reefer. I don't know what model. It's something about 150 gallons. Nice reef tank that I do. And I was leaving. I was like, just randomly, I was like, oh, I'm going to double the amount of GFO in here. It's super embarrassing. I don't know why I did it. And it wasn't something I thought long and hard of. It's just, I was sort of like working in muscle memory. And I doubled the GFO. Well, we went and did Aquashella, whatever. I got back. And the client texted me and was like, man, stuff's looking super weird in here. Stuff was bleaching out and tissue was receding. and skeleton was being exposed on some things. And by the time I finally got out there, it had totally annihilated like a 2-foot monoporic capricornus and green bally slimer, which, okay, those are sort of a dime a dozen. Well, the interesting thing is when I got out there, I was like, all right, first things first, just turned off the GFO reactor. Like, let's just be off with that. Because I was a little confused at first because I had just set up a calcium reactor on there. And I was unsure if maybe it was something the calcium reactor was doing. Like, yeah. I didn't know clean and clear that it was the GFO. But it was sort of funny because I went in Discord. That's one of the reasons I like the Discord. Discord helps me as much as it helps people signing on to Discord, because I just, for the fun of it, I sort of ran it through the scenario and was like, look, guys, this is what I did and this is what's going on. And everyone sort of helped me, oh yeah, it's the GFO. It was just, but multiple heads are better than one. So I shut.
What did you do?
I put the whole scenario onto Discord.
No, but what was the problem? You put double the amount of GFO?
Just stupidly, just unexplainably, which flies in the face of advice I've been giving for the better part of 2 decades. But suppose, I'll eat crow in front of an audience. It goes to show, like, I mean, you could just do dumb things randomly.
Yeah, the weakest
especially me.
The weakest part of any system is the person running it. I mean, that's just the way it is, right? All the mistakes, I made, I came home once, at like 2 a.m. This was 20 years ago with the all-in-one tank, and the water was down in the back chamber of it. And so I went to the sink and filled up a couple gallons, 4 gallons of water and poured it right in. No anything. Just killed, just chlorined my tank because I wasn't thinking.
Okay, so I'm not alone, but that was 20 years ago.
This wasn't like a month ago after I've been doing it 20 years professionally.
No, well, so the good part of the story is I had come back 2 weeks ago and glued in some new corals for him that I gave to him. And then I was there today. So he's an every other week account. I was there today. And his tank is totally on the comeback trail.
Sweet.
So that's that. And now it's time for traffic. I love PolypLab.
Yeah, PolypLab is our sponsor. They're back. They're sending us some stuff so we can show you, because this is what happened. They sent us stuff, and then for whatever reason, and we showed it on camera while we were talking about them, and then for one reason or the other, they weren't able to sponsor us for a while, and we used their stuff. So we don't have it anymore to show it to you.
I wasn't sure if they're supposed to be props or not. I used them all.
Right. So this time I think I asked Phil to send us 2 of everything, one that we could show and one that we could use. And that's really cool. But, I was like, oh my God, I'm out of gluelets. I'm going to have to buy some gluelets. And I was ready to buy them, and then they came back on. So that's really good. It's called a glue grenade, but we just call it gluelets. Reefroids we use their Genesis blocks. It's a biomedia. It doesn't break. It's very solid. It seems like it works. We use Reefroids a bunch, and they're thing for your phone, for your camera.
Yeah, the gel.
I'm excited. I've lost mine, so I'm excited that a new one is coming that I can use and show you guys. So we're happy to be powered by PolypLab once again. Check them out wherever good reef products are sold.
So that's that. And now it's time for traffic.
So I figured out why I still post to forums. You know how I rage against forums and think that forums are dumb, and then I come on here and talk about forums? I realize why. It's because because there was an ethics discussion on one of the forums, and it's just a nightmare. Which I can understand that people have. Ethics is not the easiest thing to discuss. There's a lot of ins and outs and weirdness to it. And if you're coming from it from...
Isn't it sort of subjective a little bit?
Well, it can be. Some people think morals are objective. I think that's insane. But that's, religious folks tend to think that. So the discussions can get crazy. And I realized, why am I even involved in this? And it's because if no one says anything, there's no chance for anybody to know anything better, right? today in some forum somebody posted that the tangs the collection of tangs in Hawaii needs to happen again because they were told by a local Hawaiian if the collection doesn't happen, there'll be too many tangs and they'll starve to death.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I mean, I didn't get an ecology degree or anything like that, but I'm just, I mean, to a certain degree, I might not be saying this correctly, but it just seems like nature sort of self-corrects itself.
Yeah, but I mean, there's no problem with the tang's food, right? It's not like in the middle of the Sahara during a drought where there's too many hippos or there's too many elephants, right?
Can we use news? I like news.
What? Oh yeah, we can use news.
Wildebeest.
There's two different things. There's too many news, and so then people have to go out and kill them before they all just start starving and rotting to death, right? That's called
because
culling.
without humans, nature would just run wild,
right?
Because it doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah, but so it's not a savanna problem. It's an island chain problem where there's plenty of algae at all different depths. We're just seeing the tangs now showing up in the shallow water again for whatever reason. But if nobody corrects that, right? If nobody even just says that's crazy pants.
No, and not to get away from to get back to what you're actually saying is you sort of feel a duty because like if the internet's just out there doing crazy pants as it pertains to your chosen field, you want to get in there in the mix and help right wrongs, but it drives you nuts.
Yeah, so I'm learning to not engage just to say the thing,
I mean, you can't stomp out all fires.
Right. And it's not my job to fix the world, but man, if people don't say anything, nothing gets said. These ethics things that I write, the articles I've written and the ethical discussion that was going on about cephalopods, which is just like crack for me, right? Ethics and cephalopods. I got a boner. I'm in. If nobody says anything,
if no one pushes back,
right? So I said, hey, taking the ethics out of this, we don't need to have an ethical discussion about whether it's ethical or not to treat the cephalopods the way they were treated in the video and pictures and description. But what we can say is there's no mystery why these animals died so quickly. How they were kept is not good for the health and well-being of the animals. Take ethics out of it. We don't even need to talk about ethics. What was going in there is not good for the animals, and we say we want to be good for the animals. And then I'm out. And then I run the hell away. Except then when somebody was posting stuff about Nazi stuff, I reported the post and got it closed, which made me really happy.
But can't you just control, copy paste a response, and anytime you see a dumb thing, just hit 2 buttons and run away?
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm really liking the Discord. I'm really liking that those people, there hasn't been much crazy in the Discord, just different. Like
silly.
Oh, no, there's insane things in the Discord, but there's nothing, no stupid husbandry, just different ideas, right? And I gotta respect those.
It's bound to happen. It'll happen sometimes. The cool thing I think though that you could take some solace in is I don't know, it's our house.
Yeah.
So when we do clean up in our house, it just feels totally you wouldn't get a moderator say, Richard, you're overstepping your bounds. You're like, fuck off, this is my house. This is my I don't like what you're saying. Change it or you're out of here.
Right.
So that feels more righteous, maybe.
Well, yeah. I mean, if somebody's gonna be a dick, I mean, like what happened with Tammy's toes. Fuck you. But somebody just, somebody thinking ICP tests are really great. I can't. Yeah, people do that.
So that's that. And now it's time for traffic.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, Richard.
I installed a new app on my phone. Do you know what it is?
Saltwateraquarium.com, baby.
It's true. I'm actually lying. It's been on there for a while, and I use it to buy things. It makes it pretty easy. It's like a game. It's like Candy Crush, except you pay
It's
more
like,
than you.
it's like a game. See how much you can buy.
Why do we like Saltwater Aquarium, Benjamin?
Dude, they have so much stuff. I mean, they really do. I don't care if you're ordering or not. Go on there and look. They have, honestly, they have stuff that I don't find on other online retailers.
Yeah.
I don't know how he was able to diversify so much, but he's got all sorts of stuff.
He's connected to the mob. We're talking about Ken.
Mafia.
Mafia, total Kentucky mafia. He's not from Kentucky. I don't know where. But we like him. When you order stuff, they have 3 shipping centers, so it gets you fast. Usually, I order in the morning and it's shipped that same day. That's pretty hip. So I like him. We liked him before. We like him now. They give us money, so we like him even more. But
we will probably continue to like them on into the future.
Yeah, we only advertise stuff that we like and that we use. We've had some people come to us and say, "What about this?" It's like, I've never used it. I can't talk about this.
However, when you do order from them, you have to put in the comment box, "I don't even care about you. It's just that Reef Beef said to like you."
Yeah, I don't even have a reef tank, but Reef Beef sent me here.
Who are you? I love Reef Beef.
And now you have my money.
Yes. Please help this glass box of emotions.
Yeah. So go check it out. They got cleanup crews. They got everything. They even have F-Aptasia I hear about. And they probably have the Coralline stuff that Ben likes.
Oh my God, don't plug that. I already got in trouble for it.
You didn't get in trouble. Anyway, go
trouble.
Use the link down below. Tell them we sent you, and rock on. Have good reefing.
So that's that. And now it's time for traffic.
Did you hear the thing I said to Bingman about why I was getting Hanna checkers?
Because you were at the DR?
Well, there's problems with all testing, as it turns out. Just none of it is easy or works the way I want it to, right? So I got a couple Hanna checkers. I haven't used them yet. But I got them, so at least I'll be using the same white cane as everybody else as I try to test things.
Yeah.
Hey, is that ableist? Oh, somebody let us know in the comments or in the Discord if I'm being a jackass to blind people. Oh, I need to do an apology as well. I said
good.
In the previous episode, I said that everybody has a pee hole. And that's not true. There are some people who don't. They have a colostomy bag and a urology bag. I don't know what it's called. But not everybody has a pee hole. So I apologize to the pee hole-less people.
Is that a sincere apology or are you being facetious?
It's sincere, facetious apology.
Okay.
Did we talk about learning at Aquashella about what the goal of reef keeping is nowadays?
No, we didn't talk about that.
So what's your goal when you put together a reef tank?
Nowadays?
Just don't worry about that. I'm asking Ben. What are you trying to do? Trying to
make it look great as possible so people are happy. You like personally or in my business?
Yes.
Just make it, well, so for a client, I want it to look as good as possible, as quickly as possible as I can get it to get there. If it was a personal thing, I'm just going through the motions. I don't think I'd be pushing.
What does as good as possible mean? What does look good mean?
If you're paying me a client, if you're paying me and you're like, this is great, here's money.
What? No.
Oh, just coral growth, coral coverage, vitality, fish living, no diseases.
You're trying to make it look naturalistic?
Naturalistic, yeah.
Okay. Boy, wow, that was...
If you want an answer, you should have whispered it to me.
I know you know, because you were in the discussion with me where we talked about this.
But this is me, so you never know where my mind is at. I could have been playing baseball in my head.
So it turns out, so we had this great discussion with a AGA, with a guy who, from the, what was it? It was the
Yeah, wasn't it the Aquatic Gardeners Association?
No, the collective, the Aquascaping Collective.
Okay.
And he said saltwater's better than freshwater's better than saltwater because the artisticness of the reef of freshwater is better than the artisticness of saltwater. And we went, what? And we realized, wait, our goal is not to make like an artistic thing. We use artistic principles, but our goal is to make a naturalistic, healthy looking reef.
Yeah, that argument threw me for a loop. And the more I thought about it, because I get it in freshwater, because you get those ones where they're like pointing to a focal point with like, with stone. And then you get these ones that look like miniature forest. And that's cool. I'm telling you, I think it's cool.
100%
but I don't
cool.
think any relevancy in saltwater.
Yeah. And let us know what you think about that, people. There's the new people are doing scapes with macroalgae in saltwater now, and that's kind of easier. And we kind of told this guy that, and hopefully we'll have the audio for that, and we'll be able to play it because it was great discussion. But we were saying, yeah, no, he was saying that the tanks are set up for like 6 or 8 months, and then they're on to the next one, and it's like, oh no, at least Ben and I, we're setting up reef tanks for years till they grow in, right?
When he's tearing his down, ours are just now looking like something.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that's the goal of reef keepers anymore. We used to, Chris Maupin used to make fun of my tank, when I was starting it out because it looks like a fruit stand, right? Yeah. Lots of little corals all over the place, right? And it was like, shut up, man, give it a year, right? And it would grow in, and then it would not look like a fruit stand. The fruit stand is what a lot of people want nowadays.
Really?
They want to collect their corals and display their corals like they're potted orchids. And then when they get too big, they clip them down and sell pieces of them. They don't seem to be, there's not as many people who seem to be interested in this long-term, let's make a reef that grows in over time. That's why all those displays, I think Joe Caparata was telling me about this too, the displays that are kind of set up with all the pedestals all over the place, the rock all set up as pedestals, that's designed to like show off individual pieces that then are cut up. So,
that's
maybe
weird.
Maybe we're dinosaurs, or maybe it's just, a way to be in the hobby short term, right?
That could be. And I'm not trying to pick on them, but I recently just randomly was watching a Worldwide Corals video, and it was sort of interesting because they were speaking to a minorly famous comedian, this lady. And so he was sitting down in front of her tank, and I had to say, her tank did look cool. And I was sort of surprised, not surprised, but, it's not like she wasn't like someone in the industry, a reefer, but it struck me too, because they were both saying all these names, but they're using the fancy names that I don't do. And it sort of gave me, I don't know if the word's epiphany, but it was like, oh, because they weren't talking about the aquascaping, they weren't talking about the filtration, they were just talking about the items she had. And it was all that sort of stuff like purple gorilla nipples and, oh, where do you get armor of God? And and the first thing that popped in my head was Pokemon, like gotta all.
Yeah.
I was like, going on here?
Yeah. So that's a way a significant section of the hobby is moving, or has moved, and we don't know about it because we don't have collectoritis.
Well, I guess I would say is as long as, well, let me put that caveat on it. As long as everyone is respecting animals and putting as much due diligence into what they're doing to do what's best for an animal, I don't really care what they're doing in the hobby, whether they're making something look natural or collecting or any of that. It involves animals, so put the animals' needs first. But past that, I don't really care what you're doing.
Right. Except the epiphany of that to me was like, oh, now I think I have an understanding of why sometimes I'm not connecting with people, because their goals are not my goals.
They're not doing.
Yeah, I'm not doing a collector display. I'm trying to get things to grow in. So I don't care. I mean, I shop for corals based on, do I like how they look? And Aquashello was fun because Unique Corals was there, and Cherry Corals, Todd Cherry.
Yeah.
I love that guy so much.
Oh, that's cool.
But I was looking at their stuff, and it's like, oh, you do have some stuff that I really like. But I don't care what it's called. I only, I'm not buying it because it's got some lineage. The only lineage I care about is that it's, if it's been around for a while. I don't actually care if it's, WCC's Leprechaun Spunk Undata or whatever, Donkey Punch Acro. I don't care. I care what it looks like.
When you talk to some of those people that do that too, I'm not going to name names, but they'll get obsessed over lineage. And that's a part of a conversation where I appreciate the obsession, but I'm like, because sometimes I guess you could say, oh, if it was the original Space Invaders Pectinia, it has more like lime green tips where all these other ones are like a dark. And I'm like, I don't really care about that, to be honest with you. For me, I don't do that. And I could see how a grower is obsessed with lineage because they would want to, you could claim more money off of that. And that's fine. That's fine. But again, that's another thing where like, that's not my thing either.
Right. And
we're all trying to do different things, I guess.
Yeah. And understanding that has made me a little less confused about why sometimes we're not connecting with people. They don't care. And it also made me understand why people, some people think that their rock is supposed to stay white.
Now that's weird. I don't understand that.
Right. Well, that's what it starts with. Anything that grows on it is dirty. It's not about the rockscape. It's about the coral the collection of corals being displayed and being alive. And so they're not, because they're not thinking about, oh, in a year the tank is going to look like this, they get confused and freak out with a little bit of diatoms on the sand or a little bit of change of color on the rocks. They don't get it because they're not thinking about it. And so I can say
some
what?
of those might not have even been in the hobby long enough, or for all we know, even plan to be in the hobby long enough to even want this euphilia to be this big, which is a thing that I do. I mean, I guess I'll show pictures right here. I'll provide pictures to show like colonies in my clients' tanks that is like bigger than my head.
Yeah.
I'm just like you, that's what I'm going for.
Yeah. I had to hack my euphilia in the other room the other day. It's good. I like took half of it out and you cannot tell. I had to hack it up because it was growing forward, down, and up. It was like, meh. But, that's why I want a bigger tank, maybe. That's the only reason. But if their goal is not to grow it out, which is like, I mean, maybe I'm stupid, but it's like, it's such a twist to my brain and going, oh, people don't want to make it look like it grew there. They don't care.
Yeah.
So
those aquascape things you're talking about is almost like like you said, I mean, you were making that point, but it's almost like a pedestal showcase.
Yeah.
So like, here's a this and here's a this. And that's cool. That's sort of weird. I mean, I'm not pooing on it. It's a different way to look at stuff.
Yeah. We need a name. We need to put those people in a box and put us in a different box.
Showcasers?
Showcase reefers.
Showcase reefers?
Showcase reefers versus naturalistic reefers?
That sounds good to me. Showcase reefers.
Yeah, and not to make fun of them.
No, it's just a different thing.
Yeah, but it's nice to, I feel relieved understanding the difference.
It's weird. Like if you do that, like showcase reefing, you're not even hoping like the corals. So you wouldn't even have the thing where like, oh no, my birds of paradise Seriatopora hystrix is growing into my Melcostylo, because it's a showcase and you probably try to do stuff to just keep them on their own little pedestal.
Right. And I had fucking Hawkins echinata and Beefy Blue Stag making out. I had to separate them. Like, stop kissing, you corals.
Now kiss.
And I just crushed I just snipped it and let the pieces fall. I took 1 million pieces to High Tide Aquatics last week. Like 2 5-gallon buckets full of like just stack.
Is that my favorite place next to you?
That's you haven't seen, that's Aquatic Collection. You haven't been to High Tide. I'll take you there. High
Okay.
Tide is the guy Kenny. He's a great guy. He's
Oh,
trying to
Yeah.
he's trying to do quarantined animals and sell
Yeah.
everything quarantined, and he's having a good go of it. He's in a good direction now. I'll be giving a talk there at the beginning of the month, next month.
Awesome.
I'm excited about that, and he's really close, and he's a really nice guy, and so I hope I didn't just give him shitty corals because I don't know what I've got. I don't know. Got
Yeah,
anal beads acro.
Well, you bring stuff there, and then the showcase reefers there, like, bro, I'm not putting this on a pedestal.
Well, at least I named that blue stag, which I have to send to you and to Joe Waiulo.
Yeah.
Beefy blue stag. I wanted to call it the back to Barstow stag, but
Yeah. Well, you do that, and I'll send you those all ruby red
oh, those mushrooms.
mushrooms.
And you got those crazy ones in the client tank. I want too. Those crazy.
The weird green and like purple striated ones.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I got a mushroom garden going up there. I'll take a picture of it and show
Oh,
you.
okay. So that's that. And now it's time for traffic.
Hey, beefers, we got to thank you. Thank you for supporting us in the Discord. Why don't you talk about this and then I'll talk about merch.
Drink your liquid. Okay, look, we made Discord and now it's been going. And I think at this moment there's 138 peeps in there. And Discord is more than what I ever thought it could be. It's really awesome. It's just different channels. And if you become like a Reef Beef membership, at least at bronze level, then you get in these other locked, I know it's crazy, but these like little locked conversations where we sort of show more and talk more. But it's really great. And even if you're watching this and you're like, I don't care because I don't know anything about Discord. Trust me, I didn't either like 2 weeks ago. You don't need to know anything about it. It's just, and fair enough, it's another app that beeps at you. But these are great conversations. Even I see beefers in there. Hey, I want to get this light. No, don't get that light. You and I don't even have to get that involved besides sort of watch over what we think is right or wrong in the conversations. Like it's people helping people.
Yeah, it's fun. Like Jim Graham was in there, Telegram's in there, and he's great. He's fun. He'll be on the show as soon as we can fit him in. And it's just it's nice to be building a community that is people we want to talk to, and it's also nice to let the general community go, and then like have the beefer community, because that helps us keep beefing. So that's why we do that. So get over to the Discord. It's pretty fun. We also have other stuff besides the memberships. We're trying to think where if you want to consult with us, there's a thing on our website, but I think it's like a half-hour consult. I don't think it's that expensive, and we're happy to talk about whatever fucking problem you've got.
Camera doesn't work. What light do you get? Blah blah blah. How do I?
Or I got this sore on the inside of my lip. Whatever you want.
Whatever.
We also have some new merch. We got these. This is some kind of cup.
It's a tumbler, my man.
It's a straw, and you can open it, and you can drink from it. You don't need the straw.
Whenever we're around each other next, we need to redo. That's not my hair anymore, bro.
I think maybe we need to cut our hair back like this at 2,000 subs.
No, I hate it.
We got a new mug. It's very big. I like this mug.
Like a mug.
And there's this new hat here, which is pretty cool. So, and a shirt. Where does it say Reef Beef on it? So go check it out. If you become a member, you get discounts on the merch and stuff like that. And every little bit helps us out. Ben just recently needed to upgrade his Wi-Fi. He's going to need to do that again. We've got to buy some new equipment for Snowman. And we're planning a trip. Ooh. Oh, hopefully that'll work out. So, but mainly, smash like. No. Mainly, thank you for the support. We really appreciate it. It makes us feel really good. I mean, that's the number one thing about the Discord, right? It's like, oh, we're talking with people. We haven't had any assholes come in yet who don't like us, have showed up just to not like us. Maybe we won't. Maybe we just have some nice place for us to all talk. So
it always.
Thank you, beefers.
So that's that. And now it's time for traffic.
All right. So a couple of weeks ago, you posted about that Coralline in a bottle. What's that product called?
Here we go. You know what sucks, and I'm a total loser for this, but I kept one of the bottles, but now I don't know where I put it. It's supposed to be spores.
It's called Coralline in a bottle.
Okay.
What happened was, actually, I've got the original post here. So you posted, we're not being paid to say this. They aren't even a sponsor, but this is insane. I think this is awesome, and it worked, and it's great, and it's the real deal. And I wrote, I'm not reading it verbatim because no one cares, but I wrote, hey, this makes me uncomfortable. We need to talk about this.
Do you want to even understand how I even came across this stuff?
You can. Let me tell you what I heard.
Okay.
Right, that you were at the store, the Obigawa store. What's it called? Because they're nice people, and I always forget their names.
Obergast, the Obergasses.
Obergast. What?
Limited color corals.
Yeah, great stuff. The stuff you sent me from them is great.
Yeah.
Actually, the stuff they sent me from you, I realize you don't send anything.
Yeah.
That's what I got to do to send it. I got to take it to Carson or Kenny's, get it packed up, and ship it out.
Well, let me show you real fast how it happened. So I
Okay.
go there a couple times a month looking at stuff. I trade frags with him. He gives me stuff. I give him stuff. So on. So I'm leaving out of there, and at Unique Color Corals, like he gets tons of stuff thrown at him from vendors all the time. And so he's like, hey, these bottles of this stuff is expiring. I don't know if you want them. So I had seen him advertised before, and I was like, it wasn't like, oh, let me get that. But it's supposedly like pink and purple coralline algae spores in a bottle. So I was like, okay, I don't care, whatever. So I took this whole shopping bag, and I took 3 tanks. It was like over the course of a week when I visited him, I followed the directions, shook it up, and poured it in there, turned off the skimmer for a little bit and all this stuff. And I sort of forgot about it. And in a month, and y'all gave me crap about this, but we'll get to it. But in about a month to 2 months, all 3 of those tanks, and not in a manner that I'm telling you that I am used to seeing, completely exploded with coralline algae.
Have you ever, in any of your tanks, have you ever seeded with Coralline any other way?
I mean, usually it'll start with some specks in a more localized place.
So no.
For me, no.
Okay,
Not
great,
like
great. That's important for That's important for later. Go on.
Okay. Go on. So anyways, I was like, what the heck? Because I'm used to, stuff back in the days like Caribsea, Araga milk and stuff like that, and Purple Up and stuff like that. So I'm used to like, what is this bullshit? But, and I have to say that it sort of freaked me out. So you know what I did? So I went to the Facebook page, and probably I worded it sort of goofy and whatnot. And I did all that. But no, let me say one thing that I did learn from you, from talking to you, is because you were just saying, hey man, sort of be careful what you post, because we love that you go and post on Facebook and all this, you're taking the reins, but don't forget that you're sort of posting for me and Snowman as well. So you might end up saying stuff that we don't agree with, which is like, fair enough. And that was sort of an epiphany on my part. I was like, you were right. And I didn't think about that at all.
Yeah. So
it might have been, I had a powwow to told you about it, and it would have stopped that before it even happened.
Right. And so it's, as much as I'd like it to be a knockdown fight with you, because then we could play it up. Fucking Ben is such a dick. Just his kid.
I'm not very much though. Like it's hard to fight with me sometimes because I try real hard to keep an open mind, and I'm happy to have my mind changed. I'm open to it.
Yeah. So the problem that I actually had, well, first of all, what you said smelled like snake oil to me. And I did look into this product before, and I looked into it again now, so I know more. But it did smell like snake oil to me, which, and a few other people too. Liz, oh man, Machio. I'm sorry, Liz. I'm pronouncing your last name right now. She's amazing and wonderful, and we're going to have her as a guest because she's awesome. But she was like, dude, she was like, Ben, this is bullshit. She even was like, Rich, what the hell?
Well, again, this is another embarrassing thing. Like, well, I guess the background on it is, I posted this, and then some people gave me pushback. Some people put like laughing faces on the thing. And I was like, I guess I felt a tiny bit triggered because my internal feelings were like, I did this stuff. I observed stuff. I've been doing this for 25 years. It's not like I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at. I saw this stuff explode. It obviously came from the bottle, you know, this or that. So it was just a day. I think I was having a bad day. And Liz went on there and said something a little tongue in cheek that I should have just rolled with.
Yeah.
But I felt defensive. I know what it was. It was the day I came back from Aquashell. I was tired and not jet lagged, but you know, all that stuff. So I felt snippy. I actually was doing that on my phone as I was leaving the airport. And I got a little sideways with her, and I was trying not to be defensive because that's always a bad look on your own page that you're running. And she was questioning me and then thinking I was rich, trying to pull her leg. And, you know, and I was looking at it and I was like, oh, I just embarrassed myself, you know?
Yeah. And then you were like, it's spores. And we're like, how do you know it's spores? Because it says
on the back.
And we're like, oh, Ben.
You know,
I think it's very cool that this happened because it shows how easy it is to fall into this anecdote and say it like it isn't. And all you had to do in your original post was say, hey, I don't know much about what this product is. It really seemed to work for me. You know, what do you know? And then that's great. We went and looked for it, right? So I was like, spores, what I know about Coralline algae is collecting the spores is not the easiest thing in the world. You know, so does it actually contain spores? So I went and researched the company. Paula Carlson found some information out that I had missed, and she was like, nope, they're a licensed aquaculture facility. They've got patents or protections on some of these hybrid strains. No real details, so I kind of still squint. But combined with that there is some snake oily sounding stuff and looks on their page, but they are certified. They have been around for 25 years. So, and somebody I respect, you, yeah, no, I totally respect you, posted an anecdote that was compelling, that wasn't just, you know, hey, I put this in and it worked. And so I have to pay attention to anecdote from people that aren't bullshitters. And everything you followed up with, it was like, oh no, there's something going on here, and I have to respect it a little bit.
I can put pictures of right here of these tanks right now. And you could say that, yeah, because I know, I mean, obviously I'm not a dumbass in this. Like, you could get frag plugs that are covered in Coralline and put it in your system and create the right conditions. And, you know, eventually that's going to sort of spontaneously come out on its own.
Well, what we know about that is it takes the algae a little while to settle, and then it takes about 6 months before it starts sporifying, which is not a word. It can take about 6 months. It can take longer too. But if you really want to seed with Coralline, you scrape it and you collect it and you kind of crush it up and you put it in the tank. You don't just put a thing in, right?
Oh.
So you can seed your tanks, right? These things, I mean, I don't know if you can see behind me on this tank, but the entire front window is covered with Coralline, right?
Okay. Yeah,
and,
I see.
And it's all of them, actually. And I never scrape it. Well, I need it for spawning, so I'm leaving it. But that's...
What does crushing it and whatnot, how does that go any faster?
It's also, because it's asexual propagation as well as sexual, right? So instead of putting one fragment in where you're waiting for it to grow or spore, you've now taken 1 billion little pieces of it and spread it across your reef. So you have a whole lot of it taking hold in a whole lot of places, so it will grow fat. You just have more surface area growing.
You're basically fragging it.
Exactly. Except with this one, you frag it and then you Jimmy coral seed it all over the place, and it grows faster. So, is it spores? I still squint at that. Is it, is it crushed up algae, crushed up CCA? Maybe. Either way should get you similar results, and either way, it seems to have worked for you. Therefore, okay. I'm going to give it a not only a 60% squint, because the website's pretty squintable. And there, and nothing is, and it's all proprietary. So whether it's spores or not, I don't actually care. It seems to have worked for you. That's pretty cool.
The last couple of weeks, what I did is instead of being given some, and I have some new tanks that I set up that, I set up tanks with bare rock. So I went through and I purchased from Algae Barn. I purchased 4 more bottles of it, and I seeded 4 more tanks. So I'm just sort of waiting to see if again, going in with more anecdote, because if if we go down the road a couple months and like, well, okay, maybe it was, but I mean, honestly, the tanks that it blew up in, it blew up with Coralline in ways that I'm not used to seeing it blow up.
Yeah. So now, if you can take Coralline off the glass and collect it, like scrape it into a net and just kind of crush it up lightly, don't get crazy, put it in a tank next time you're doing maintenance, leave the pumps off for 20 minutes or whatever, and then see if you get a similar result in a couple of months. That will tell us something that might be slightly interesting.
Yeah.
But if this bottle shit works, you don't have to do that. So great. A product that does what we want without us having to do work. It's not that expensive a bottle.
Well, my thing about it is how nuisance algae won't really grow on top of Coralline algae. So I was just thinking, that's, we're all freaking out about setting up reef tanks with dry rock. And I was thinking like, man, if you could do something to get, which it doesn't have to be the stuff in a bottle. Like Richard said, you could scrape it off and broadcast it if you do it that way. But I sort of feel like the quicker you could get Coralline algae covering stuff is the quicker you could get past ugly phases of your young reef.
You're jump starting the benthic succession. So It's great. And it's funny because I don't even think about how I seed with Coralline in a tank anymore. I always find something with a lot of Coralline on it and take it to the new tank and scrape it off and let it go all over the place. It's just the thing you do.
What I've been doing. So, for as much as I think I know, I've just been like, oh, this rock has a lot of Coralline. I would just set it there. And like a year later, I'm like, what's going on? So I wasn't thinking to sort of powderize up some of it and throw it around.
Fascinating. So we don't hate each other at all.
Oh, shucks.
We just had a little confusion. And the thing about, speaking for us, that's a thing. It's like, oh,
it is.
And also us, Reef Beef getting behind a product, that we got to be careful.
Should be talked about.
Because they should fucking pay us, because it's all about the Skrilla, baby. It's about the clams. We like products that work.
But also, too, Liz, if you're watching or listening, I apologize. And hi, this is me. I'm not an a-hole. Maybe I am. No, a lot of people say that I am. So I guess I'm a liar, too. So, Liz, I'm a jerk and a liar.
And that's our show. Thanks for listening, everyone. My name's Rich.
And my name is Ben.
And we'd like to thank saltwateraquarium.com. And this episode was powered by PolypLab. We'll see ya on the underside of the cryptic zone. Episode 69, Cephalopod Boners. Hosts Rich Ross and Ben Johnson. Producers Rich Ross and Snowman. Editor-director Snowman. Thanks to our gold and prime level beefers Rich P, Ryan H, Scott C, Pedro, and Scott O. I can't think of any blooper things to say.
About the Bible?
The Bible. We should do an episode where we get fully religious. We just pretend we're religious for the whole episode. On 2,000 subs, we find Jesus.
Okay, I'm comfortable with this. I'll dress like Moses.
No.
In 2000
no.
subs.
We really find Jesus. We become religious.
I can't promise that. That's a hell of a stunt, buddy.
I'm going to say 1 million subs.
1 million subs.
At 1 million subs, I'll go to church for 6 months.
I'll get nailed onto a cross for 1 million subs.
What the fuck?
That was yes.
We're like a fucking morning show. I'm the zoanthid, and here's the predator fish.
And now it's time for traffic.
And now it's time for the Skimmate collection cam. And smack your fucking son. Those are our goals, right? Because I love watching your eyes dart to the side every once in a while.
And I'm snapping at him.
Yeah, it's not at all distracting. It's really kind of awesome, actually. We should have him there every show. No.
I
Yeah.
promise you, beefers, are we still recording?
Yeah.
It's just me. Look at this paraphernalia. So much paraphernalia under one umbrella.
Pachyderm?
Southbound pachyderm.
Pachyderm. Pachyderm.
What do you have to do to get your drink ready? Just open it.
Fucking reef beef shit, motherfucker.
Wait, what the fuck you got there? A tumbler. Look at this shirt, beefers. If you want a shirt with my ugly face on it, go to reefbeefpodcast.com/membership and get all this. I probably said that wrong. Perhaps I said it right. Who knows? It's a rhyme.
That shirt is so fucking ridiculous.
It's bizarre.
I got all kinds of... Look.
If your head is giant, you could cut the eyes out and the mouth out, and you could be a giant me.
Check this out, bitch.
Oh, I like that.
Knit cap.
You look cold and you're in New York or something.
I think these are made from the dead bodies of our enemies. Their bones are woven into the silk. Oh, you're locked up. You're locked up completely. I think something bad happened. Well, we're waiting for Ben. How exciting is this? Hey, it's just you and me. I guess the question is, does Ben know that he's not connected right now? I'm going to kick him off the channel. Because I have the feeling... Oh, no, he won't be able to get in if I do that. Oh, there we go. He's coming back now. I can see what he did. Because now it's just me in the lab. Can I entertain you in the lab? Here's a new book by my friend Miss Staff. The Lady and the Octopus. It's about the woman who invented aquariums because she wanted to study nautilus. That's pretty badass. This is a great book. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it. You want to get it and you want to read it. Written by someone cool, and it's about a cephalopod and a lady. And a lady invented aquariums. How crazy is that? That's crazy awesome. What else can I show you here? I got my sunglasses. Actually, they go on under here. Looks like Ben's trying to come back now. And they actually don't pick up. I'm sorry I'm fucking boring you, yawn master. We have an Ask Reef Beef from Brooks. How are babies made?
When a mommy and a daddy really like each other. I don't know. It's 2022, so I'm confused nowadays.
What are you talking? You have 4 fucking kids.
I just go to sleep and I wake up and someone's pregnant. I don't know what's going on.
Nobody knows. Maybe Jamie Craggs will figure it out and write a paper about it, and then we'll know. We'll be able to spawn people.
I just remember from the 80s that show with what you talking about, Willis and all that his sister said that you can get pregnant from eating salmon. So that's why she went to jail. Biology. I ain't no biology expert, but eating salmon is the closest, I could come.
Salmon's a pretty sexy fish.
It'll get you pregnant.
It'll get you pregnant. You heard it here on Reef Beef. Reef Beef. Salmon gets you pregnant. I'm the jellyfish. I'm the acropora. And this is the morning show.
Now on the weather.
Yeah.
April, how's the weather looking?
Well, it's dark outside because it's night.
Well, está nublado. Like a weird face for snowman for bloopers. We have to do bloopers. That is aggressive looking.
Oh, that's not weird?
Beefers, do I look like the guitarist for a grunge band in 1993? Say yes or no. Or just put on the YouTube video. I know you're listening. Oh my God. You look like from Mad TV, that one guy that would like get crazy on the playground and try to get loose. But no, if you're listening this far, can you please put beaver? Put beaver in the YouTube comments. Because if not, you just weren't listening.
Yeah. And we don't love you as much.
Please don't ever wear that wig around me.
I'm gonna fucking wear this wig
Looks like you're
every time we're in public together.
It looks like you're gonna touch me where I pee.
It's my Halloween costume.
You're a toucher.
I'm not telling you what it is yet.
Oh my Lord.
Oh, super Jesus.
Super Jesus?
Super G, right? Isn't Jesus just a superhero, right?
Pretty much.
Jesus is just Thanos.
He's in the MCU. Yeah, he could snap his fingers and turn all
He
of us.
did. Here's fucking bread and a fish.
No, and then he was like, hey, guess what? A bunch of you gonna drown.
Here's some wine.
Well, that was sort of his...
Jesus didn't drown anyone.
Yeah, that was Yahweh. But see, that's where I get confused because it's the Holy Trinity, and it's like they're trying to like, oh my God, we going into the week.
Have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That was my dad. But I am my dad.
Whatever. And then I killed myself.
Yeah.
But don't do it.
You. Because you did bad things a long time ago.